Hey everyone, welcome back to CoffeePod. This time it's CoffeePod at the movies. And we're back with Adam.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
Yep.
Why? Because we can't help ourselves, because everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, it's been very polarizing, this one.
It has been very polarized, this one. And I'm going to say there are going to be spoilers because it's just not possible to talk about some of the pivotal parts without spoiling it. So to be courteous and fair, this one will be spoilers. So if you've seen the movie, definitely join us. We'll try to keep them to a minimum. But yeah, we're going to have to talk about it. And I didn't want to talk about whether we liked it or not really yet.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to talk about it. Because everyone gets caught up so much, like you say, polarized. I loved it, I hated it. Because it's such a fan-based movie, everyone gets so emotional. But I did want to talk about, before we start, like I always say, when you watch these kind of shows where someone's reviewing something, giving their opinion, always watch it yourself, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
No
Make your
matter
own
what,
opinion.
make your own opinion.
That's true for for all art, like all movies, all TV, everything.
Absolutely.
Everyone can go to you and say, "Oh, I didn't like it."
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
art is objective, so it's
And
what
that's
you
what
think.
that's what I wanted to talk about, like all these movie metrics these days. People are so obsessed with looking them up. IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, and they base their opinion on that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, how do you feel about that? What's your opinion with that? Do you go by those before you see a movie? Do you think they make it better or worse? All these data and metrics and reviews and percentages?
I definitely think there's way too many of them. Like before we started recording this, you were showing me a few of the other ones that you'd found. I mean, I mainly just use IMDb. I just go by what the critics say and what the people say, and you can always tell. Sometimes the critics and the audience are pretty in sync. With this one particularly, like the audience and the critics are pretty much level. But for other films, though, I try to, if it's a new film by someone that I don't know too well, like a new director or something, but I've heard good stuff about the film, then I might go on IMDb and check it there.
Yeah,
I
sure.
very rarely use Rotten Tomatoes. I don't use that one at all. I really only use IMDb, just because I've found it to be more of an accurate website compared to Rotten Tomatoes, because Rotten Tomatoes, that anyone can go on there and put on a review.
That's right.
So you can just get flooded with great reviews. Like recently with Lady Bird,
Yes.
it had like the longest longest amount of time at 100% for a film, and that's because people have just gone on and said I loved it. But it's not really critics who are saying it. It's just people who are going on there and saying it.
Now that's perfect. You segued exactly into what I wanted to talk about. Rotten Tomatoes, especially. So right now, it's got like 90% sitting around for critics, and it's sitting around 50% from fans.
See?
How can that be like that with this kind of movie?
Yeah.
And I think it's because a small majority who's just very adept at getting on those websites, who are just in a rage and wanting to troll.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucked. They're just being loud. Whereas that one I told you about, Cinema Score, that one's interesting. That one is actual quick interviews after the movie. They tell it to give it a quick rating. People who've actually just seen it. And based on that one, they do an A, B, C, D kind of rating. Star Wars on Cinema Score is an A. Again, not that any of these things matter, but if you go by these, you're just going to get so confused.
Definitely.
So if you like Star Wars, go see it.
Yeah.
And so we did.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a normal Star Wars fan or like a super fan? As in you know all the intricate, you follow everything, the books, the stories.
Yeah, no, I'm not that.
Normal fan.
I've only really watched all of the films,
Yeah.
including Rogue One, and I've seen couple of episodes of the Clones War show. I haven't read any of the books. So I'd say I'm a fan of all
So
the
then
films.
just
for
the
sure.
film. So that's fine. So do you think this one fits within the other films well? And I don't necessarily mean the prequels, like the reset universe from The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Is this
So
a good,
from
good part
this,
two?
I think this follows on quite well from The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens asks a lot of questions, specifically the ending with Rey meeting Luke. What was going to happen there? You know, where was that story going to go? What happened to Kylo Ren? You know, what was going to happen to him? What happened to Finn? You know, what happened to Captain Phasma? We all found out the answers in.
So do you think
Last
everyone
Jedi.
got an equal amount of time to get enough backstory in this one? Were all your answers?
Well, see, that's the thing, really. My concern, you know, I guess I agree with some other people's concerns about these films, is that we don't have enough backstory on some of the main characters. Kylo Ren we do, and then Rey we do, and then we do get a bit on Finn, but then we don't know much about Poe Dameron. We don't know much about, you know, like all the other characters that are popping up in this as well.
That's right. So can I put a big one out there? Unfortunately, this is a spoiler. So, you know, Snoke was introduced, and he's like the other any sort of, you know, evil dark Sith Lord that has an apprentice. And they all have a backstory. I have to admit, in this movie, he was pretty much snuffed out halfway through. I won't say specifically how, but so all I know is he's a mean old man with a funny cheek that sticks out.
And how did he get into that position of running the Empire? You know, like how
fear from his face and just pure evil meanness. I don't know. So no backstory.
No
on
backstory
him.
in him. So again, like, you know, we should have gone something with him. Although I will say that we didn't, you know, until the prequels came along, the original trilogy of what's the main the evil guy, the main Darth Vader's.
Yeah, the Emperor. Just say the Emperor. Yeah.
We didn't get backstory on him either until the prequels came
True,
through.
that's true. Emperor Palpatine, true.
Thank you, Emperor Palpatine. So we didn't know much about him either. But
well, you could put it like this, I suppose. I'm not trying to defend it, but I think the story is really good in this one. I think it's really gone to a point where it's not just for kids, and I'll talk about that later. It's not just for kids. I really think it's someone that an adult can get their mind sunken into. And although Snoke didn't have a huge background, by them getting rid of him, that opens up Kylo Ren to take that position, and he can develop his character more. I'm not saying they did it on purpose, but that's a possible reason. Because the Snoke guy is like, it's getting too complicated with him because we'll have to write a backstory. How about we just say he's evil, he's a pain, he's going to do him away, and then he will rise to power. You think that is a positive?
It really has opened the way for him to now rule the galaxy. There's, and as I said, there is quite a few like nods to other movies, to other films in this franchise as well. I actually really enjoyed this, and you know, I've already gone to see it twice.
Yeah, well, that's certainly a good sign. What do you think about some of the other layers they're trying to add to it? So they, in this story, they went to Canto Bight, that's the Vegas planet with all the rich people, and then they've shown us the other side of war, which I think is a good subplot. The fact is whether you're on the good side or the bad, there are always war profiteers in the background. That's real life. When you buy a tank, you buy an X-Wing, you buy a TIE fighter, you buy it from these war profiteers. And that's all they are, as dealers. So they go to this planet where all these decadent people are gambling, like in Super Vegas world. And that was Finn and the new character Rose. Who kind of is, she's kind of like, he was like a plumber or a garbage guy or a basic, you know.
That's right.
He wasn't exactly a high up.
He wasn't. He was
That's
on the
kind of
lower
her
level.
job. She's a lower level.
Yeah.
Do you think they were good?
Yeah.
A good pair?
She just what mans the escape pods.
Mans the escape pods. Yeah.
Just make sure no one escapes. Yeah.
So they go to this Canto Bight planet where they're looking for someone, a code breaker.
Mm.
So did you think did that work in the rest of that movie?
I actually thought that was really good. I really liked that subplot. It was really good to expand that part of the story of this world. It's, as you said, it's the part of the world that we don't normally see.
Yeah.
But it was really good to go there, and it was really good to discover new characters as well.
Yeah.
That were out there, and
No, that's good.
You know, like it was really like, and also the one thing that should be mentioned about the new film is that there's a lot more humor in it as well.
Yeah.
You know, even like
And you're okay with that? Because some people are torn. Like, they want humor in the DC movies because they think they're too dark. But I've heard people saying they don't like all the humor here.
Oh, okay.
But what is that? Star Wars has always had a bit of humor.
Definitely.
Even from Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill themselves.
Yeah.
In the first movies, George Lucas, he's a great fantasy man, but he's a terrible writer for human dialogue.
Yeah.
And they would always, you could watch these stories, they would help him with the dialogue and the script.
Yeah.
They would say, George, no one talks like this.
Yeah.
And they would bring that levity and human part. So that's always been there.
Yeah.
So I like
well,
the
even
humor.
like, you know, as I was saying, the first one, you know, like Chewie's in the way of
Oh,
Princess
yeah.
Leia, and she says, "Oh,
Yeah.
get this walking carpet out of the way."
That was classic. That was movie cinema humor. You wouldn't write that in space.
No,
that's her.
right, yeah.
That's her
Yeah.
personality coming
Even
through.
when like Luke goes to try and like, you know, save her in the prison, you know, like
Yeah.
You know,
A
it's-
bit short for a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
So anyone who thinks that humor doesn't belong in this universe,
yeah.
it's already there.
So it's always been there. Yeah, maybe people just didn't pick up on it
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Maybe I don't know,
Yeah.
but I really liked
Yeah.
it this time.
Yeah.
There's one part where and this is it's not really a spoiler, but
Yeah.
the Chewie is on the island with Rey and with Luke, and he's about to eat his dinner, and
Oh.
he's cooked a
A
porg,
Porg, yeah.
and he's about to eat it, and the porgs are looking at him with absolute fright.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's humour in there. It's a bit dark, I guess, but there's a lot of humour in there as well.
Yeah.
But
Are
you
we,
know,
are we okay with Porgs now?
they're
They weren't too overwhelming.
No, they weren't. I think they did it like lightly. They weren't too much. They went over the top.
Yeah. They didn't
Yes.
turn into
It wasn't Jar Jar Binks.
didn't
or
turn into a
anything.
Jar Jar. Oh,
No.
Annie do Bobani. They were just something on the planet.
Yeah.
Apparently, they were fashioned after puffins, these real birds. So it was just,
Oh, okay.
it's just a
Yeah.
funny bird. It's not like they
Yeah.
took over the movie and were falling from the ceiling
No,
everywhere.
that's it. It wasn't like it wasn't a crazy amount. No.
So talking about like humor and lightness, were you okay with how Mark Hamill was in this movie? How he got to take a bit of the lead with showing how Luke has
Yeah.
developed? And by that I mean, again, I don't want to say a spoiler, but the lightsaber scene was so pivotal at the end of The Force Awakens. She's standing there, it's building it up, so you think something huge is going to happen, and then he takes the lightsaber and sort of chucks it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Do you think that was just a cheap gag, or to show that that's none of that holds any meaning to him? That's what he's trying to show her as well. This is just a tool, it's just a weapon, nothing to do with the Force.
Yeah.
That's why he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Is that what you took from that?
Maybe it's like a combination of both, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's probably a cheap gag, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's travelled on the other side of the galaxy on an island in the middle of nowhere
Mm-hmm.
for a reason. You know, he doesn't want to be a part of the
True.
the rebel force anymore, and he doesn't want to be part of that world anymore. He just wants to live a quiet life
Yeah.
on this little island. And when Rey does finally show up and give him the lightsaber,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't mean anything to him anymore. It doesn't have as much importance as it used to.
Yeah.
So him throwing it away over his shoulder is more like, it's irrelevant to him now. He doesn't need to do anything more with it. You know?
Yeah. It's grown beyond that.
Yeah.
You don't need that. And if you're strong enough with whatever this power is, whatever the Force is.
Yeah.
And they
that's
did
it.
actually, I have to say, expand on that a little bit
Yeah.
more. And no, not like metachlorians. Let's just ignore that. Let's ignore that word. It's sort of back to the originals where the Force is something that we all have. And that's what I always thought too.
Yeah.
It was something that can be taught and brought out in people. But it's not something that a unique person has. You don't have to be a Jedi or come from a special bloodline. You can all develop it. And that's what I think they touched on too, is that you can be brought out if you get in touch with that.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Did you think it was like frivolous as well, him just throwing the lightsaber, or did you like that at all?
At first, immediately, because the natural audience reaction is to have a chuckle. Because Mark Hamill has been such a character as well through these years. He's in social media. They see it in interviews. They know that would be something that he would do off screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would do that at an event. He'd throw it.
Yeah.
And I think they saw it in the movie and like, oh, that Hamill, he's... So I took it as a bit of wacky Mark Hamill, but then I thought also maybe it means that literally his character is the older version of Luke, who again has tried to remove himself from all the bullshit, and the Force has brought him nothing but trouble.
Yeah.
Lightsabers and weapons have brought him nothing but trouble. So it was also about, I don't have time for that. So I'll take it as that, so that it's not such a cheap gag.
Yeah.
How do you feel about, do you think they did Carrie Fisher? Because she finished filming completely.
Yeah.
Do you think that she was in it? Her part was developed
Yeah,
in a good
definitely.
way?
Yeah, I think they like fully formed that character very well. You know, I imagine I tried to think of like what would happen if she was still alive, what they would have done with her.
Exactly.
Because it really does feel like at the end of the film that there's, you know, that they can actually do more, that they actually had an idea with her in the next film.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the fact that she won't be in it is you know, it's quite sad really.
Yeah, I know.
But also kind of like it was meant to be, like it was her last film was meant to be Star Wars. You know?
Yeah, and to go out maybe in a positive way in her character.
Yeah.
They'll have to write in something, hopefully
they're probably
clever.
doing like the scrolling text, like at the beginning.
Leia.
She passed away or
Yeah,
something.
maybe.
Or I don't know what they're going to do, but
Yeah,
I
that'll be a
think
tough
they
one.
did. I thought she was really good in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I will say I really liked Rogue One, I must say. Again, The Force Awakens, it seems like everyone said yes because they just felt like they had to. Yeah, I liked it. With a kind of yeah. But now people are really polarized with this one. And Rogue One, I didn't know what to think. I've watched that a few times now. I really like the feeling of that one. Feels like it's attached very, very much to the original Star Wars. Like I could watch that one and then watch the original Star Wars, and it'd be an awesome little prequel package deal.
Yeah.
And I feel like that one's really connected, especially with the space scenes, the battle scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought Rogue One had some of the most awesome battle scenes. I have to say this movie has probably taken the cake with that.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
absolutely.
Even the opening scene,
Yeah.
it's full on. It's like real World War II in space. It was full on.
That's it.
Bombers and all these huge ships.
Yeah.
Did you like that? That take you in right away?
I did.
Yeah.
One thing with these films when they're done right is you know, you get sucked into the world quickly, and you are so happy to be in that world for a few hours.
Yeah,
you know?
that's it.
And then when it's finished, you're like, oh, okay, but I want to go back into that world again.
Yeah.
You know, they do. You know, this one I definitely felt with that very much. The original ones were like that, of course. The prequels, maybe not so much.
No.
But maybe except for Revenge of the Sith. But these ones, this one and Force Awakens and the originals, I really wanted to be a part of that world. You know, go into that world again, and like build the characters again, and see what was going to happen next, and what adventures they're going to get into.
That's it. I agree. That's what this one felt like. I wanted to look around the corner and see what else is there. What else is on this world? And they did a lot of on location. You gotta love that.
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones sort of style.
Yeah.
You can commit to special effects, but you also need to commit to getting your actors and putting them in a place where there's actually a weird tree or weird sand. And they immediately, I think it brings out the acting in them.
Yeah.
It brings out the character in them when you're on something that feels like another planet.
Yeah.
And they did that well in this one.
They did.
Put them out there.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the movie.
Another thing as well, which I thought was good, was the level of like CGI characters compared to like a guy in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
There's on the island, in the film. There's
all
like
the
these
little
like
helper
there's like these
people.
like nurse frog things or
Yeah,
whatever they are,
yeah.
but they like help like maintain the island.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really like that. I like the
Very Jim
aesthetic
Henson,
of that.
reminiscent of Muppets
That's
and Jim
right,
Henson
yeah.
Studios
Yeah.
and Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Real character, the Dark
Actual
Crystal.
characters that you can actually touch
You
and
can touch
feel,
it.
and
That makes
you
all
know,
the difference in the world, even
Yeah.
today with all the technology. If you don't get the CGI, you shouldn't notice it. The minute your eye goes, that guy's mouth is weird. Why are his eyes a bit weird?
Yeah.
You're now out of the movie.
Yeah.
It takes you, unfortunately, out of the feeling that you're in it. So you're right. That's a fine balance. You can't just
Yeah.
CGI the hell out of it.
No, that's it. And especially now with like, especially with the Snoke character.
Yeah,
is,
who is?
like you really like it's amazing because that whole character is all CGI. Yeah, it's Andy Serkis in a green suit again, but with the balls.
It's all
on
Andy
him.
Serkis.
It's always him.
Yeah.
But you know he does such a great performance of that character.
Yeah, yeah.
And it, you would never guess that was all CGI. You would think there was actually a guy who had sat there for like hours putting it all on, and like all being put together. And there was also another really cool thing about going to that new planet as well, because in the casino scene, you see a lot of new characters, and a lot of them are all like in like rubber suits and stuff.
Yeah, the Canto Bight Vegas world.
Yeah, that's it. I really liked it. Yeah, I thought that was good. Good introduction to new characters, and
now a strange one I have to say is Gwendolyn Christie. She's the Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Now she's Captain Orgasmo or Captain Phasma. I do have to say I don't quite understand that character, especially since they've gotten such a well-known actress, and they put her in the can.
Yes.
And you never get to see her.
Yeah.
That I have to say I don't get that. Is it just her voice? If so, she could just voice it. But she's in there. She says how she was on set and it's hot. Why?
The other thing I don't get is
because you're tall?
Yeah, maybe. The other thing I don't get is because she also does all like the interviews as well, like all the press stuff.
I thought it was going to be big time.
But she's only in it for like
not even on the poster.
10 minutes. She's not even on the. Yeah, as you said, she's. What is that her down there? That little.
Oh yeah, sorry, she is.
So
she
like
is.
the
She's
little
on the side.
tiny like.
Yeah. As well as the
poster.
anti-BB-8. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's a spoiler.
Darth BB-8.
Darth BB-8. Yeah. That's actually funny. But yeah, obviously a great cast, and they all. Again, do you think they all got enough of screen time and backstory? Laura Dern was the vice general. Did you like her?
Yeah,
was it
she
weird?
was good, but again, would have been
lavender
good to
hair?
have gone a bit more of a backstory in her as
Yeah,
well.
I know. She's just supposed to be a badass, but I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? I've now watched. I've watched all all 9 films, including the Rogue One story. I've watched all of them now, and every single time I watch them, I always go, why don't they just turn the ship around and just go into light speed into a rebel ship?
Yeah, ram it
into an Empire ship. Why don't they just do that? And finally they did it.
Finally, someone had the balls to say.
Someone was sitting around going like, how should they like destroy the ship?
Yeah.
We've not done light speed before.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Well, when you're
finally after all this time.
Again, it's like an old school rules from when you're out of bullets, you're out of everything.
Yeah.
The ship itself becomes a weapon.
Yeah.
And even in Rogue One, that was one of my favorite parts. The Star Destroyers, they're enormous, but they only have the guns manned by people, which is funny. In the Star Wars sci-fi universe, it's still just manned by people shooting the guns. But they take the one ship, the Hammerhead ship, and they ram it into the side, if you remember, and push the Star Destroyer into the other one. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
Even though all this technology, they just said, well, how about we ram it? I kind of like that. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. But yeah, like Captain Phasma, we don't have enough backstory.
No.
And like criminally underused as well. It would be really cool to have just seen her do like more stuff. Maybe killing another character or something.
Yeah.
Just so we feel that she's more menacing.
Yeah.
At the moment, she doesn't feel. To me, she didn't feel that menacing.
No.
Yeah, Laura Dern's character as well.
Yeah.
It would have been good to have got a backstory in her. In the film, they say the clear leader to replace Leia is her, but we're not told why she would be the clear reason to take that on.
What do you think about is the Kylo Ren Rey relationship? Are they getting some good scenes?
Yeah,
Do you
definitely.
see? Yeah.
Especially their
The throne scene was
yeah,
pretty
that was
awesome.
fantastic.
From that point on, I was 100% into the movie. 100%.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were excellent. They've really chosen really good actors in these films. You know, not just like people who, you know, like a big name or anything. You know, they've chosen people who really do suit the role.
Yeah.
And I think Adam Driver does a really good job with this character.
Being really tortured. He's
Really
so tortured.
Yeah, that's it. There's a part in the film where he's got an opportunity to destroy the rebel ship.
That's right.
And
that's in the trailer, and everyone is like, "Oh, that's when he's gonna."
And then, but he, you know, instead of pressing the button to do it, he resists. You know, he doesn't do it. And then again, he doesn't do it, but he lets the other ships go in and do it instead and destroy him.
Yeah, he is.
So, like,
he's making that part his own.
It's a good like balance as well, like him. And there's some other parts in the film as well, which you know kind of suggest, you know, maybe he's a good character, maybe he's a bad character.
Yeah. Definitely the, you know, the Darth Vader Anakin being torn.
Yeah.
And look, you're gonna say, oh, they just keep reusing stuff. It's okay if those things they use are good themes and they make sense that they're linked, because let's be honest, they're all like they're all family, they're all friends and family and related. So it is certainly possible to have certain traits continue on. That's not out of the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though there's a whole universe of new characters, they are going to be linked by Leia and Han Solo and Luke somehow. There's always going to be links to the original sort of family, dysfunctional family. And that was Lucas's thing. It's funny. He always described it as, it's really about this dysfunctional family. It just happens to be set in space. And that's why he and Disney sort of parted ways, because they wanted to create the new Star Wars multiverse, and he wasn't quite sure. But I think they're doing okay. Yeah. And the new director took a chance. Yeah. And went with his own art, but still in the Star Wars world.
Yeah. And he was allowed to write it and direct it as well.
That could have gone both ways.
Which, you know, I think maybe George Lucas is the only other person in this franchise who's done that.
I think so.
I think, you know, he took on, you know, a big task, and he really did a great job. I think so. I think he did a really good job.
And John Williams is back.
And John Williams,
that made me happy. You can tell. I'm sorry for everyone else out there. Yes, they're fantastic, but there is something special about John Williams needs to be associated with Star Wars.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah, he just absolutely, his music as in every film. It elevates it straight away. You know, it just gives, you know.
He knows where to pull that and pull it out of you, and
he does.
And the E.T. tears come down.
Yeah.
Oh. Like Danny Elfman, of course, another. Yeah. But Danny Elfman defined like the Batman sound. Imagine putting a Danny Elfman soundtrack in Star Wars.
Isn't it?
What?
So, you know, composers and directors go very well. John Williams and George Lucas. And, yeah, Danny Elfman, Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton.
They go so well together. But no, I really liked it.
So now we can say whether we liked it or not. I absolutely liked it.
Yeah, I liked
positive
it.
For me.
I really liked it a lot. Really enjoyed it. It's a Star Wars movie.
It is.
So you know what's going to happen, and you know what's going to, you know, like the story and everything. And there's a few nods to the original films as well. Absolutely. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And now compared to Force Awakens, I actually like this better.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It's not just mid-level meh. It actually takes some chances.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can do that, and it can pay off.
Yeah, I think this answered a lot of, as I said at the beginning, this answered a lot of questions from Force Awakens. It's raised up a few new ones as well. Yeah. We still don't know who Rey's parents are.
So do you like that? Were you hoping that would be answered now?
No, I liked that. And
they're holding back.
Now that we can kind of, you know, like, we would discuss this when we watched the film afterwards, that we feel that, like, Kylo and, like, Rey are somehow... related.
Yeah, look, that again, that's not like a spoiler. That's like something that's sort of, everyone has their own speculations. God knows Star Wars fans are renowned for just coming up with their own ideas and their own theories. And that one of those is based on an actual story. It's a book that was written where Han Solo and Leia had twins. I'm just thinking that'd be a lovely one if that is.
Yeah, and
because they have a connection and it would make sense.
Yeah.
They're able to talk to each other very easily, and they have, I don't know.
Yeah, and that would go
Doesn't need to
so
be.
well with like,
Yeah.
you know, as I said, nodding to originals. You know,
Yeah.
like Kylo asking, you know, seeing, you know, like Kylo and Rey being twins is like, you know, it's Luke and Leia were also twins. So
Yeah, and I mean that's okay.
Yeah.
If you reoccurring themes that make sense are okay.
Yeah,
Not
definitely.
if like Force Awakens, I feel like they just pretty much tried to hit all the buttons and remake all the things that are safe.
Yeah.
Death Star things. They just did it all again. This one took the parts we love and then took it in a unique, it's a fantastic artistic it's a movie.
yeah.
Like if you're not a Star Wars fan, I think you'd like this movie. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, you could definitely watch this as like a standalone film.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't need to know before or after or anything
Yeah,
like that, but
yeah.
it does. You can get sucked into the world straight away.
Absolutely.
And like, wow, you know, it's great. And this is also the longest one as well. But
I didn't even notice.
I didn't really feel that
didn't feel
it
it.
was that long at all. Like it went really quickly.
And that's a sign of
There
a
was-
good movie.
Yeah, there was a good pace to it.
Yeah.
And I was really intrigued about the story and what was going to happen next. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And J.J. Abrams has the next one.
again.
Are you
yeah.
okay with that? Do you care? Do you
Uh,
think give him a chance? It is what it is. Whatever shall be.
You know
C'est la
what?
vie.
Yeah, you know what I thought was really good about the Force, this one, the new one, The Last Jedi, is the fact that Rian Johnson got a chance to write and direct it, and it was a different director with his own vision of what his own Star Wars story should be. I'm just a bit concerned that JJ might just not
Go back
do
to
that
safe,
and just
yeah.
and go back to safe and not do his own version.
Yeah.
I really, because it was going to be Colin Trevorrow who was going to do the last one. He did Jurassic World.
Oh yeah.
And again, it would have been good to have seen him do it, or maybe even get somebody else, like someone who doesn't normally do these types of like movies. You know, someone that's completely new and different. You know,
It's a tough one. We know it's hit and miss, especially with like the DC universe. They're trying so hard, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the director is bad. It means, I think for them, they let too many cooks in the kitchen. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's way too many people deciding where this goes rather than letting a singular person maybe take the reins. And look, Lucas was that guy. But look, he has let the reins go to someone else. And it's funny too, Star Wars fans are unique in that they already make up their minds. So you wait for the next Star Wars movie, but in that time, all the Star Wars fans have already made up their minds what they want to see. We've all directed the movie in our minds, and then a lot of times you go to see it and you go, that's not what they should have done.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that to another movie? You accept the
that's-
movie.
you do.
But with Star Wars, you get mad at it. Oh,
Yeah.
I would have done this. Well,
yeah,
You
exactly.
didn't.
You didn't do it. Yeah. So I guess the next Star Wars one is the Han Solo
yeah.
standalone.
Yeah.
Will that be coming out this year? Next year?
I think, yeah.
2018. Yeah.
Again, that's a gamble because that's a well-loved character.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
attached to Harrison Ford. I'm sorry,
Yes,
but it is.
It is. Yeah.
It is firmly attached with
Yeah.
that man's.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Han.
Yeah.
You can't just. So I hope this. It's all on the kid. It's all on that actor. It's all on him, man.
Yeah.
If
And
he's not
yeah.
Han, he's not Han. I don't know how else
and
to
it
put
has
it.
to. It has to do it straight. And it has to be like seamless for him.
Scene one.
Yeah.
Everyone has to buy that he is
Has-
Harrison
yeah,
Ford.
he's him,
I don't
yeah.
know what to say.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him.
That's a
If he
tough
can
one.
pull it off, though, that'd be great for him.
And Lando
Um,
too, because
Lando, yeah.
that's a very
Yeah.
unique character.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, again, that shows the difference between like the DC and like Star Wars and Marvel as
Although
well.
all owned by the same people.
Yeah, all owned by the same people now. But like, you know, they've really thought about who would be the best actor for the roles, and they've really tried to get the best people involved in all of these films. I don't feel that's necessarily true for DC.
No.
It kind of feels these have all of the DC films so far, except for Wonder Woman, have all felt very rushed
Absolutely.
and not well planned out. And
They're chasing Marvel.
yeah,
They're the
yeah.
redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, that's
They've been
right,
beaten
yeah.
down, and they just want to say, "Please love us," and it ain't working.
No.
Wonder Woman, I think, is because they just. I almost think they said, "Here," and the director, made it.
Yeah.
Made it great.
Yeah.
And they need to
She
find
did.
that again.
She absolutely
Let her
did.
direct the next one.
Yeah, yeah. Let her do another Star
Let her
Wars.
do
Why
Star
not?
Wars.
You know, why not let her? You know, the more like diverse and more
Yeah,
like original
yeah.
thinkers you get to make these things, you know, the better and more original films you're gonna get.
Definitely.
Um,
Well, I definitely like this one. I think I want to see it
yeah,
again too.
yeah, it was very good. I really liked
It's
it.
a very watchable multiple times.
Yeah,
So much better to watch in a theater with good sound. Again,
Yes.
not that the special effects or sound makes a movie,
Mhm.
but we're talking Star Wars. Let's get real here.
Yeah.
You need to go to some Dolby Digital
Yeah.
or Atmos,
that's it. You need to
and
hear
and
all
it just it lifts you up and goes, I'm there.
yeah,
I'm in Millennium Falcon.
yeah. We went and saw Blade Runner as well
Oh,
with the
jeez.
great Dolby like Atmos, and that film
I won't be able to watch
particularly,
it at home.
it had like the most like crystal
Yeah.
clear sound in it, and you could hear everything, like even like the way the people were walking, like you could just hear the footsteps.
Scratch
so
your
clearly.
face.
Scratching the face.
I know.
Yeah, and like there was a to digress slightly, but there
No,
was
that's all right.
in that film. Ryan Gosling's character lives in a multi-story apartment,
Yeah.
and you could actually hear the people talking next door.
Oh wow, yeah.
In this film, where with the Dolby Atmos,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
quite clear there was somebody next door to him talking. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
it makes a difference.
It does make
Yeah,
a difference.
yeah.
It all helps for you to go straight into the world.
Yeah.
You know? No, I really like this a lot. And,
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think you
so
now
well made.
you're on Letterboxd. I like Letterboxd too. It's kind of cool. It's a little bit different from IMDb. It's
Yeah,
more.
it is. Yeah.
It's not as like intense and everyone's.
No, it's kind
Like
of more like a community.
It's a community,
Letterboxd, in a way.
and they have a 1 to 5, yeah,
Mm.
which just keeps it simple. And I
Yeah.
think yours was 4.5.
I gave it 4.5. Yeah,
It's
so
pretty serious.
Yeah,
Because I keep 5s for special. 5s
Yeah.
for Back to the Future and ET and Blade Runner. So 4.5.
4.5.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so
All
I really
right.
enjoyed it.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
you know, go out there
go out there and
watch
see it.
and
Make your own opinion.
You know,
If you're a Star Wars fan, you have to. Because why would you not?
yeah.
And
If you're a Star Wars fan, you've already watched it by now.
And if you're not, and I did want to say one quick one. Do you think they're trying to gear this again for kids? Because even Lucas said, I made it for 12-year-olds. Well, we've gone past that. I think this is an everybody movie. It's not just for kids.
That's it.
Don't you think? It's for everybody. It's for adults as
definitely.
well.
Well, they
Fans,
did,
non-fans.
They did. They did. You know,
They set it up to get ready for kids and merchandising. But
Yeah.
that's Star Wars. They
But-
got to set up the rebel ring and the
Yeah.
lightsaber and the toys.
but would you call Empire though a kids' film?
Which one?
Empire Strikes Back.
No, because I think it has dark adult themes.
definitely, and it doesn't have a good ending.
No, it ends
No.
on a horrible down note that would
Yeah.
send a kid spiraling into
Yeah,
depression.
It does,
But we still loved it. Okay, this
So-
one's not that dark, but it's
but
has
not
some
that dark.
darkness.
But yeah, I mean, like even Revenge of the Sith. You know, again, that film doesn't have a good ending.
No,
You
no.
know,
In case you didn't know that, yeah.
No, spoiler alert.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that doesn't have a good ending either. So, you know, they
Movie for
Star
everybody.
Wars has done it before. You know,
Yeah,
and like as you said, these are universal films. These ones, you can be 7 years old and go and see this for the first time.
Oh yeah.
You can be like 90 years old and go and see this again. You know, like
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they're for everyone. And I don't know, you know, it's very like unique how many films there are out there like that age range applies. Maybe the Marvel films are like that as well. Indiana Jones is like that.
True.
Harry Potter's like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
You
then
need
Star Wars
family
is like
films.
that as well.
You need family films. And
Yeah.
I don't necessarily mean like a Disney animated film. Even Toy Story, as much as it's a
Yeah.
kid's film, it has some. Come on, there's some moments where you like shed a tear.
Oh, definitely.
So
yeah.
look, hey, that's Disney. They know what they're doing. They own everything.
Yeah.
They own 20th Century
They'll own
Fox
this
now.
one day. Yeah.
They'll
They'll
own
own
this one
us.
day.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Yep.
For you, it's a 4.5 out of 5.
It was,
I
yeah.
haven't done a rating yet, but I think I won't say. I'm not going to
Well-
say. I'm going to do it tonight.
All right,
but
okay. Well-
absolutely, it's in the high.
Yeah.
It's positive.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely.
So high hopes for all the side movies. Whatever. I did like Rogue One, so I can't knock them. And the next one, all we can do is wait and see. Unless we're
See
part
what
of
happens. Yeah.
it, we can't get mad. You can't
No,
be like,
that's
oh,
right.
when I was assistant director, well, you weren't. So that's what you get.
Exactly.
All right.
That's right.
All right. This was awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you
We'll,
very much.
We'll definitely do another one.
Yep.
And check out Paradigm TV for more great originals like this and CoffeePod. And see you next time.